Hey guys, it's the Rogue Widow coming back to you. So, as I had told you before, I'm the Rogue Widow Julia. I've been a widow now going on 11 years. In my first two videos, told you the process, how I started accepting, and some days not accepting widowhood, but eventually learning that I don't have to like it, but I do have to respect it, and I hope that you can get to that point too. If you're a widow and looking at my video here, my heart goes out to you. It is one of the hardest adventures that you will ever have to do, and I want you to remember the worst is over. You're still here today. I hope you'll be here tomorrow, and I hope that you get through it with God's grace in small steps. And I say do 3 small things a day, whether it's wash your dishes, wash your clothes, water the plants, vacuum, trip to the grocery store and back out, be with your pets, call your friends, don't be alone, okay? So let's move on. Okay, you've accepted that you're a widow. Hung out, been alone for a while, and you're kind of sad. This is the hardest. I want to get out and do things. You've got some energy now to get out and do things. Everybody do it. You know, sometimes you might be at age where your friends, they're very few now, or you could be younger, and everybody's still in their 30s, 40s, and having children, and you're kind of the fifth wheel, so you don't feel good about that. So you're ready to get out there again. In some of my videos, I said, you know, you may meet people at church. Don't go to that church support group just to hook up with somebody and get married in 2 weeks. Do it for the right reasons. Give yourself time to go through the acceptance and give your soul the courage and strength that it needs, and rest a little bit. You're weary, but your soul is energetic, so listen to it in your heart. And when you're ready, what do you do? I'm going to tell you something you're not going to do. Don't do it online, please. I know you know people, well, they went on farmers.com, or they went on Match, or eHarmony, or Christian Mingles, and they found this great guy, and now they're married. Okay, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I'm saying most of the time it doesn't happen. You get into situations that may be abusive financially. A lot of people think that widows come with a big life insurance basket, and you don't really, or that for other reasons, you know, you own your home, and you can have these fellas come in, or girlfriends, whatever it is, and slowly you're seeing that you're being taken advantage of, and you know, you just messed up. And then you have children, grown children, and you don't know how they're going to accept seeing you with somebody besides dad. That's an issue too. But this is what I'm going to tell you. So if you're going to go online, you may know somebody that did it and they did okay or whatever. Google everything you can. Ask these questions, all right? So when you Google somebody, John Smith of Columbia, South Carolina, well, Google John Smith in Columbia, South Carolina. Then hit the whitepages.com and Google John Smith, and go to down to the report that's free. See if he lives where he really says he is. Then look at that address and type it into Google, and you're going to come up with Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever. You'll see a picture of the house, all right? Their profile name that they use. You know, if they use something like Tampa Biker or Preacher John, that kind of scares me, but Preacher John, Google that. You would be surprised how many times that will come up. And I did that one time on a profile picture, and then let me tell you what came up. All of the other 15 sex sites and little Korean girl sex sites that he was on. And when I even went to those, it was his picture on the profile. So it was a completely different person. And this person that I had clicked on was military, retired military, then went back civilian, had a high security clearance. And because he had a high security military clearance, I thought that the military had checked him out from A to Z. Well, after I got to a little more information, oh no, Lord, no, they did not. Because let me tell you, I used to work for a major power company as well in human resources and doing psychological testing and for folks going into nuclear facilities. We did a better security check, I believe, than the military does. So you have got to be careful with everything. If they tell you their children's name, look up their children, see if it's real. Look at all their Facebooks, plug their name in Facebook, and if their name comes up and then you come up with a profile and it's blank, that could very well be that same person just using different profiles to stalk and troll other people. Alright, so now I've kind of told you about some of that, but let's say you do find somebody, and a lot of us at a certain age do, we reconnect with folks that were in our life earlier. That can be a wonderful blessing. I know so many of my folks have reconnected. My neighbor down here at the coast, I hadn't seen her a couple months or so, and when she saw me today, she said, guess what, Julia, her husband passed away 5 years ago, and she reconnected with her high school boyfriend who had lost his wife. And she said, it felt like water. We flowed so easy. And it was easier for her children to accept that and accept him because she knew him and they knew of him in the community and the family. So that was kind of okay. And then, they had to give their blessing. And she said, going through this past Christmas, they still didn't want nobody at Dad's seat and didn't want anybody else near her. But then they kind of, around Father's Day this year, had a talk, and they said they would be okay with it. They would be okay with it. So another thing I'm going to tell you is, if you're out and you're ready to date, dating is one thing. Moving in with each other is next level. Do it slow, whatever it is you do. If you have been married, you already know that dating somebody and living with somebody is two different things. And it is two different things. So that's how you really get to know a person. Where do they put their dirty clothes? Do they pick up after themselves? Are they way too clean for me? Because personally, I throw my clothes in the floor in a pile and then they get washed once a week. And my shoes don't have to be in the same order. They're in a clothes basket in my closet, just right in there, and then I get them out. Some people can't do that. Some people can. They expect you to do all the cooking, and they're going to help you clean up. Do things together. Go on some trips together, some short trips together. See each other. Now, if you're getting around my age and a little bit older, you're going to see each other sick. When I met my heads up, I do have a partner now, my sweet preacher man, and this was after 9 years. But it just fell into place. I wasn't looking for anybody. He was married for 43 years. He wasn't looking for anybody. I met him. He was eating at a table and then crying, and a mental health person said, honey, what's wrong? Are you okay? And he just said he had just lost his wife a year or so before, and he was all in pieces. And I looked at him and I said, I know how you feel. I'm not going to. May I sit down with you? And I did. And we just started talking, and it just helped him to know that when I said I know how you feel, I know how you feel. So, and through our friendship, I got COVID. And when I say I got COVID, the first round of COVID I got, I almost was not here. I'm not a smoker. I almost went into went into much worse. So, and I'm in healthcare. I work in nursing homes, and I know that's where I got it, but he didn't leave my side. And let me tell you, you can look pretty rough when you can't do anything but lay and just hope that you can take your next breath, and nobody's helped you wash your hair in a week or two, and you haven't eaten, and you can't drink, and you're ill, and you're grumpy, and he never left. No, he wasn't beside me. He was outside through a glass, but he would not leave, and he took care of my dogs, and he took care of my house, and my children, whatever they needed, and they saw very quickly that this is going to be okay for Mom. gone out in some other situations dating, and my children don't like these people. They just didn't like them. And at one time I thought, you know, they're never going to accept me with anybody else, and I just need to give this up. And because I'm okay alone, I'm not a lonely person, and we talked about that. Being alone and being lonely is different. I'm okay alone, and even though I'm with Preacher Man now, I still have to have my alone time. I'm sitting right here in front of the Atlantic Ocean alone and loving every minute of it. But you know, when you have your grown children, don't lie, don't keep it, do not keep it from them. If you want to go out on some dates and they not know that, that's fine, because if it's just a date. If it's just we just want to see if we're gonna fit, okay. But then if you've gone out 10 times and 12 times and you know you want to do things together, tell them. Don't let them find out by somebody else. It will just hurt their feelings, and it will make things more difficult. But you have to let them know. You have to be honest and let them know. Tell them, I know this is not easy for you, because I know the first time that, you know, Preacher Man came to my home, how are, you know, they're going to see me with somebody else. The visual. And so, but they met him, and instantly, just the way it's supposed to be. I guess it was our soul contracts. Just that's they coming together. You know, the good Lord helped us plan our life here, our journey here, and stepping on down the road, he married my daughter to her husband in a beautiful ceremony. But if you're gonna get ready to date, do it slow. Be honest. Check out everybody. I don't care if he tells you he's a preacher. Check him out. He might be a sex offender. You can go to the National Sex Offenders Registry. Everybody, it's free. Put their name in, and it'll come up, because you don't know. Listen, I worked also 12 years in child sexual abuse in graduate school. So I know how perpetrators are. Honey, we arrested many preachers, many teachers, many coaches, many nurses, female. I mean, check everybody out. All right, keep your finances to yourself. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's business. What is it Beyonce says? Put a ring on it. And then I would be very careful before you let somebody put a ring on it until you have all your financial situations in order. And I will tell you this is my advice. When it comes to your finances, do talk this over with your children, because if you marry, things may go to him instead of them, and that might not be what you want, because that's not what I want. My estate is for my children. His is for his children. So think about these things in the future. Who will be your health care power of attorney? Him, the girlfriend, or your children? Well, mine's my daughter and my son, because they know more about my health than he does. Doesn't mean I don't trust him, just they know more. And he would end up asking them anyway. So Google every single thing, and every person that they bring to you to meet, Google that person. And the person they bring to you is free. Google White Pages, free. National Sexual Offenders Registry, free. Pop it up. Check the Facebooks out. You know, be careful of the information that you give on online dating sites if that's what you do. Now, let me tell you something, Christian Mingle. I'm not saying anything bad about the site whatsoever. I am saying I've had some patients who have come to me in disasters from people that they met on there that didn't turn out to be Christian, and the red flags came through, and they did get through it. Just be careful. Just because it says that doesn't, you know, I mean, that's what it is. Just be careful. I know there's some good sites out there. I can't really tell you what they are, but you're smart. The worst is over, but don't get into a situation that's going to be worse than the end. And if you were a caretaker for somebody that was sick, be careful of getting into that situation again too. It's not time for that. It's not time for that. So that's my super scoop of the day on widow and starting to date again. And I do hope that what you want to find when you feel like you have the energy to get out there in the real world again. Because if you're like me in your 50s when you were widowed and you were married for 20 plus years, you haven't had a date in 20 plus years. My preacher man was married for 43 years, so when he met me, he hadn't had a date in 43 years. It's different now than it was when we were young. So just be careful, okay? Learn to love yourself. When you love yourself, all the rest of the love will come in there with you. Love your soul, give it a chance to give you energy, and love your heart, give it a chance to heal. And until then, the Rogue Widow's going to say goodbye, and I'll talk to you later on another subject of the Rogue Widowhood. Take care, be kind, love the animals. Bye.